You're listening to Dumb Down Life number 4.
So, 4 shows in, and we've finally got a full team. Hello, Doug.
Hello, Lance. Hello, Darren.
Hello, Doug. Hello, Lance.
Hello.
Yeah, through various excuses, Doug has not been with us. And we just found out, just before starting the recording, that Doug hasn't even listened to the other previous shows, which is a good sign.
Well, I've been a bit busy. I've been backpacking in Walmart for the past 3 weeks, so...
The same Walmart or various different Walmarts?
The same one. It's a big Walmart.
So when you get to the end, do you need to buy a GPS system so you can get yourself out again?
No.
And that's the end of that topic. Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Fuck off.
So 3 weeks stuck wandering around Walmart.
I'll tell you what, you could wander around Walmart for 3 weeks. I doubt you guys have ever seen a Walmart unless you've been to the States. But these stores are huge. They're about the only places that you can buy a bag of potatoes, tyres for your truck, and a shotgun. I kid you not, really.
That depends on the state, though, doesn't it? Because I don't think I've ever been to a Walmart that's actually got a shotgun section in it.
Well, ours has. So maybe it does depend on the state. Yeah. I've been to Walmarts in Georgia and Virginia as well, and they both have guns too. So,
Doesn't Walmart own Asda?
Say again?
Doesn't Walmart own Asda?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I thought it did.
I think it's Asda or someone like that, one of the UK shopping malls.
You can't buy shotguns in Asda, though.
I'm thinking, no, I don't think I can.
Shall I get my coat now? Or?
No, you can't, Lance. You're right. You can't buy shotguns in Asda.
Oh, dear.
Shall we go on to the first subject that we have arranged, shall we?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's.
Moving on.
And this is another subject for you to take on here, Lance.
Yeah, it is. How safe do you think your bank account is? I mean, what sort of information do you think you need to give out before your bank account is under threat?
Well, I'm dubious about this because I would have thought that unless they know my mother's maiden name and all that sort of thing, that all that anyone can ever do is to put money in, which no self-respecting robber's going to do, really, are they?
No, you see, this is what Jeremy Clarkson thought as well. When the discs went missing, the benefit discs that contained 25 million people's bank information, Jeremy Clarkson in his newspaper column basically stated that it was absolutely nothing to worry about. It's a storm in a teacup. Whoever's got the discs, the only information they've got is the bank account number, and you can't do anything with that other than put money in. And to prove the point, he placed his bank account details in his newspaper column and said, absolutely nothing you can do with it. Just give me all your money if you want. Well, it seems he's been proved a little bit wrong, because he's now paying a direct debit to the UK Diabetes Society for £500 a month. And he didn't do it.
Now, the thing with that is that okay, you can do it to a charity, but unless you're going to go as far as to actually set up a charity for yourself, then anything that you're going to take out is going to be traceable. So if I was to say, okay, well, I'm going to set up a direct debit that actually pays to my bank account every month from Jeremy Clarkson's bank account, it's going to say, please pay Darren the sum of £1,000 a month, and he's going to come knocking on my door and want the money back, surely.
Probably. I mean, I don't really know.
That's a pretty valid point.
Yeah, I don't understand how they managed to do it, because I was always under the impression that a bank account itself, you can't do anything, because even with the direct debit, don't you have to sign something?
Well, this is the thing.
But how often do they check signatures, really, when they have thousands and thousands of them to go through every day? Do they really focus and check on the signature? That would be my concern.
Yeah, I think one thing that this does emphasise more than anything else, whoever actually set this up has committed a crime in doing so, because they have fraudulently set up this direct debit. Now, I doubt very much whether Jeremy Clarkson's going to pursue this, because quite obviously he put all the information in the newspaper himself. It's not as if the information was stolen. But there's also talk of the fact that he can't cancel it because due to the data protection, they're not allowed to tell him who it was that set it up. Now, I think that's possibly a bit of a stretch of the truth, because surely it being his bank account, he can cancel any direct debit he wants.
Absolutely.
It's not as if the charity are going to come back and say, "Oi, you still owe us that money every month." It's not likely to happen. But,
well, personally, I think the biggest crime is the fact that this is Jeremy Clarkson, who must by now, surely with his TV career, be a multi-millionaire, and this muppet only took £500 from his account.
Well, he's possibly going to keep that £500 a month going, because let's face it, he's not going to notice the difference, is he?
No, absolutely.
But I guess his retort will have to wait until the column on the sorry, it would seem that Lance has hung up.
Bye, Lance.
Bye, Lance. God, if he doesn't want to play, just hang up. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. If I get the music going for the next music track, and then by then we should get him back in again.
Well, let's hope so, as it's his topic.
Well, yeah, hang on a second. Where's the bit of music? Let's stick this music on, and when we come back from this music, we'll have Mr. Goodman back again.
There was a time when nothing stood in between us. Now there's a curve in the road so sharp it'll make you bleed. We don't talk, we just punch the clock. We can't find each other in the same old gridlock. Maybe a little escape, what we need. Living your love and your work like a dog every morning. The city's a pain like the latte stain on your dress. Get in the van before you break down. It don't cost a dime to leave this town. Get on the road, cause we gotta get out of this mess. So let's drive away. Let the sunlight chase us all day. Nothing gonna stand in our way. Yeah, let's drive away. Love was a word in a song and I took it for granted. A bump in the road, not really a part of the drive. Come on, Kawana, it's alright. You made me believe tonight. It's love that makes it so damn good to be alive. Oh, so let's drive away. Let the sunlight chase us all day. Nothing gonna stand in our way. Yeah, let's drive away. Oh, yeah. gotta get going. There's gotta be more than the coffee shops and the bar. Maybe, maybe it's too late. Maybe, baby, it's just fate. Maybe you'll take my hand and we'll get in the car. Whoa, 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 so let's drive away. Let the sunlight chase us all day. Baby, that's all I got to say. Let's drive. We'll drive away.
Right, and that was Matthew Ebel with Drive Away. Welcome back, Lance.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back, Lance. We were hoping you wouldn't come back, and fortunately you did.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
So this leads nicely into the fact that if you have any comments to make on the topics that we're discussing here, or perhaps on the extra high production values that we're using, you want to know how to prepare a show of such high quality, then please drop us an email at... Go on, anyone jump in. It doesn't work when there's three of us, does it?
The email is ddl.podshow@googlemail.com.
And the website, Doug, what's the website?
The website is ddl.podshow.com.
And the telephone number is 0207 1932 982. And get in contact with us on any of those, and we will possibly make a mention of it in the show. Again, not had any recordings or anything for this week. Otherwise, it would have been in this little segment, which we're now having to fill.
Again.
Again, yeah. Right, next topic. Doug, this is your one.
Yeah, this is my one. This is about My Extreme Friends. We have lots of programs on TV over here, like a program called Scarred, which features a rock star called Jacoby. I mean, if you actually read his name, it's Jacoby, but apparently he pronounces it Jacoby. It is.
That's the Americans for you, isn't it?
Absolutely. And what it is it's lots of videos of teenage skateboarders and bladers and bikers who try and do tricks that go terribly wrong. Now, this isn't so bad. I enjoy watching them because there's nothing more fun than watching somebody else hurt themselves. But what gets me is you have their friends standing around watching them, and when they fall from great heights, they smash their head on concrete, they break their arms and injure themselves badly. Nobody does a damn thing. Everybody stands around. The guy videoing continues videoing. Their friends all just stand around. And about the only thing they ever manage to say is, dude, that was fucked up. And that's it. Nobody calls an ambulance. Nobody rushes over to see if they're okay. And it just drives me nuts.
Surely in situations like that where they might have a broken neck, the best thing to do, and the thing you're told always to do, is just leave them alone. It'll get better on its own.
I think there's a difference between leaving them alone and laughing at them. Dude, that was bogus.
And the worst thing is half of them can't speak decent English either. I think they should quit on the extreme sports and take up some extreme grammatics and go read a book, frankly. But I just find it laughable, the fact that these are supposed to be the guy's friends. I like to think with my friends, if I really injured myself, they wouldn't stand around laughing or saying dude a lot. They'd actually help me and they'd do something about it. Because some of these injuries are pretty serious, you know. Some of these guys, I mean, there was one guy who caught his nuts on a railing, and ripped his ball sack apart and actually had a testicle hanging out, and all of his friends could do was stand around and go, dude.
I think in that situation, though, Doug, if you were to do the same and sort of go doing this gnarly slide down the banister on your balls, and both of them sort of come out either side, I'd just be standing there wincing. I'm not sure that I'd be able to do much. Certainly couldn't come running up to you and then go, oh, look, you dropped these.
Oh. To be fair, I'm pretty sure I'd be laughing.
But surely you do something eventually. Surely perhaps it's the fact that we're adults. I don't know. But my first instinct would be to probably chuckle a little, but then catch over and check that my friend was okay and maybe call an ambulance or something like that. But these guys just never seem to do that.
I think I've sort of seen people hurt themselves and this, that, and the other, but nothing to sort of that degree. But I have to say, to my shame, my initial reaction is to not get involved, I think, because of not knowing what to do properly. I say, to my shame, being an ex-scout leader, that really I ought to know what to do. But my initial reaction probably isn't to sit there and laugh at them, no. But I don't think I'd want to get involved with any sort of first aid or anything. Yeah, I probably would call an ambulance, to be fair. But I don't think I'd be inclined to sort of scoop the guy's bollocks up and give them back to him.
Well, I mean, I have to say, I suppose in a way I'm a bit of a hypocrite, because not so long ago my nephew Ian broke his arm in 2 places blading, and he ended up having to have an operation on it and have metal plates put in it and stuff like that to put his arm back together. But when he rang me and told me about it, and apparently his stepdad was exactly the same, rather than asking him if he was okay or if it hurt or anything like that, my very first question was, did you get it on video?
Oh, the YouTube generation.
I think it does also depend on what sort of relationship you have with the person that's gotten hurt. I mean, when we did that cycling thing a couple of months back, Lance, if you'd have come down there and gone over the handlebars and rolled down the hill, I'd have dropped the camera and come running up to you. But if we'd have seen somebody else come riding down that hill, go straight over and smack into a tree, then we might sort of
rolling.
Exactly, keep the film rolling, because his friend will be over the brow of the hill in the moment and they'll sort it out, won't they? So yeah.
Then again, I mean, you do see it a lot, though. I mean, I suppose it's not just kids that do it either, because you see it a lot on these TV video shows where, you know, you've got somebody with a video camera happens to catch something horrific happening, you know, and you can hear them talking about the fact that there are 3 people struggling to get out of the wreckage of the car or whatever. And rather than go over and help them, all they do is continue filming it, going, yep, they're dying.
Yeah, it's a rubberneck sort of mentality, isn't it? When you see a crash on the motorway, on the other carriageway, everybody slows down to have a look to see if they can see what's going on. And when you actually stop and think about it, it's quite morbid and sick, really, isn't it? Because you're slowing down, hoping to catch the sight of a body half out of a car or something. Not sort of consciously, but subconsciously, that's what you're looking for, isn't it?
I suppose, and I mean, it's the only reason people watch motorsport as well. I mean, you really only watch motorsport to see the crash. Skiing, definitely. I mean, I can't see any other reason to watch skiing.
Yeah. It's a bloke falling down a hill on 2 planks of wood. You're just begging for him to fall over, aren't you?
And this year's Winter Olympics, absolutely nobody fell while skiing. Viewing ratings were at their lowest they have been in many years.
Exactly.
Next year they will be putting bits of broken glass and a few extra lumps in the snow, with a hope for increasing the viewing levels.
A couple of stinger traps across the run, you know.
Absolutely, a bit of piano wire, you know.
Salt.
Here comes Eddie Edwards down the.
And now for the 1 kilometre downhill garrotting.
It's funny, the first person always seems to sort of get the furthest. Everybody else chickens out or tries doing the limbo. It's weird.
He just tried to avoid the red splashes on the side.
Yeah. Right, and the next one we got here is Who Whoops Who? Another one.
So that's that's me again then. Okay, what this section is I want to pick two famous people and discuss who would whoop who in a fight. And this is something our listeners can get involved in. If you have any ideas of two celebrities who you think would be good in a fight, send us an email. Let us know who you think would win and why, and maybe we'll discuss it on the show and decide if we agree or if we don't. Now, this week's stars, the first ones we're going to start off with are Bruce Willis versus Samuel L. Jackson. Who do you think would win in a fight?
So the difficult thing is here, obviously, we tend to know these actors as their characters rather than the actors themselves. I mean, I'd like to think that if Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson actually came head-to-head, they'd agree with something amicably without resulting to violence.
Oh, that's
yes, but that would be no fun. I say, old boy, can't we just discuss this over a cup of tea?
How about a flip of a coin? Yeah. Who would win in a fight? I would say Bruce Willis.
Yeah, me too, definitely. Samuel L. Jackson's all talk.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I do. I think Samuel L. Jackson, he's very good at giving the badass spiel, but put him in a punch-up with Bruce Willis and Bruce Willis would kick his ass.
I've got to say, I reckon Bruce Willis would probably be dirtier.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, this is what I was worried about. We were all on the side of the one person. Samuel L. Jackson, yep, that's it, you're laid out, mate, because Bruce is going to get you. We don't actually have anyone who's standing up for Samuel.
Well, maybe some of our listeners disagree with us. So if they can send us an email, let us know why they think Samuel L. Jackson would win. Although I have a feeling it would be a short email because I can't think of
a single one.
Well, he's a bad motherfucker.
Well,
he is, and he can quote the Bible.
Absolutely, and that's always good in a fight, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can picture here like an Indiana Jones moment. There he is, quoting Ezekiel, and out comes Bruce Willis, smacks him in the mouth. You're going to stand there quoting the Bible. I'm just going to kick you. Sorry.
Yippee-ki-yay,
A lot shorter. Yeah.
Okay, next on the list, Gary Barlow versus RobbieWilliams.
Right.
Again.
Well, this one's not going to go down too well with the American viewers or listeners, or listener, as the case may be, because I'm not sure they'll know either of them, would they?
Well, basically, the easiest way to describe them is a whiny pussy and a clown.
Oh, but which is which?
Which one's which?
I'd put Gary Barlow as the whiny pussy and RobbieWilliams as the clown.
See, RobbieWilliams is sort of known out in the States for Millennium. I think that's about the only song that's ever been heard of outside of the UK.
Yeah.
Whereas Gary Barlow, I doubt whether anyone in the US has heard him at all. We were talking about this on New Year's Eve, actually, because they ITV did a live show at the O2 with Take That reunion up on the stage. And
you watched it?
It was that, or it was Hogmanay at Edinburgh Castle with some Scottish presenter, and I thought, it's lesser of two evils. Or on Sky One, they actually had the RobbieWilliams concert. So there was that fight personified across the two channels.
And who would?
I would think that Robbie would win in a fight.
I actually think Gary Barlow, because RobbieWilliams is a skinny little runt, and Gary Barlow's a big fat heifer moose.
But
he's going to be slow, isn't he? Gary Barlow's going to be slow.
I think that Robbie is a bit more muscular than Gary is.
I also think he's a bit cockier as well. And if you've ever been in a real fight, you'll know that confidence is everything.
Yeah, but there's a difference between confidence and cockiness.
Yeah, as I found out much to my chagrin when I was younger. Thinking you're a badass is entirely different to actually being a badass.
Yes.
You don't realise that until the alcohol wears off. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, of course, that Mr. Williams has been known to suffer with substance abuse. So I guess it depends how clean he is at the time of the fight, because beating the crap out of a junkie, that's going to be a little bit easy, isn't it?
It depends what they're on.
Yeah, true.
I mean, there's always a chance that he just keeps getting up and doesn't know he's being hit.
Exactly. What was that?
Don't know who would win, but I'd enjoy watching it.
My money's on Robbie. I've got to say,
You
my
think so?
money's on Robbie. Yeah, absolutely.
I actually have to disagree with you. I honestly think it would be Fatboy. Sorry, Gary Barlow.
He's too slow.
Yeah, too slow, and I think that
No
of the two
coordination.
of them, he's the nicer guy and is less likely to be sort of enthusiastic about the fight. I think that Robbie's a bit of a brawler. I think he'd be more up for it.
Well, maybe we could get Robbie to take away his McDonald's. That would encourage him.
Well, now you say, Robbie to take away Gary's McDonald's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because apparently he did lock himself in a room and eat nothing but McDonald's after they broke up.
Who, Gary did?
Yeah, and put on like 100 pounds.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Mind you, Robbie went and became an alcoholic, so that kind of evens it out, doesn't it?
Yeah, but let's be honest, which are you going to have more fun on? A McDonald's or alcohol?
Does that include 2 Happy Meals or?
And is it
With
a
little
strawberry
toys.
shake? Is it a strawberry shake or a banana one? Because that'll swing it for me, I think.
Well, yeah, and the Christmas menu this year was quite nice, actually. I think, being locked in a room with that for a couple of weeks rather than a bottle of JD, yeah, it's a close one.
I can't believe we're actually discussing this.
Now,
Okay, moving swiftly on. The next two these are actually characters from a movie and not the person themselves. The first one is Sirus the Virus from Con Air, played by the inimitable John Malkovich, versus Hannibal Lecter, who, of course, we all know is played by Sir Anthony Hopkins.
So I have a
Maisie,
small
if you're
problem.
looking at... You have a problem with it?
I have a small problem here in that I saw Con Air once, and I really don't remember Sirus the Virus. So I guess by default I would have to back Hannibal Lecter.
Mm-hmm. Lance?
It depends how long the fight. If it was a very quick one, if Hannibal Lecter got in there first, then I think he's got it. But once the surprise factor's gone, I don't think he's fast enough or young enough. I think Sirus the Virus would win in the distance. If it went the distance, he'd win. But on a one-round knockout, my money's on Hannibal Lecter.
Well, I have to say, I'm not sure who I think would win out of these two, because I both think they have the advantage of brains on their side. They both have the advantage of psychological ability. But I think possibly, Lance, you're right. Hannibal Lecter's a little old now. So I think possibly Sirus the Virus.
Yeah, I think if Hannibal Lecter moved in with his trademark face-biting manoeuvre straight away, then yeah, he's got the fight. After that, I think it's Sirus the Virus.
Because he's got youth on his side.
And, speed and just about everything else.
So I'm not familiar with this Sirus the Virus. What is his character supposed to be? Just a psycho, or is he an ex-military psycho, or...?
No, he's just a nutter. He's kept in solitary confinement because he's killed like 3 prison guards and he's escaped no end of times. Although that said, actually, Lance, thinking about it, a better character to put up against Hannibal Lecter would be the guy played by Steve Buscemi in the film. Garland Green.
Yeah, he was weird. Yeah, they're probably more akin, aren't they?
I think they're probably much the same. Garland Green, Darren, was the proper psychopath who they brought in at the last minute and had him all locked up and chained up, who drove through somebody's town with a girl's head wearing it as a hat. So he's a proper psychopath. So I think he would probably be a better one to match up against Hannibal Lecter.
Again, we got a fair difference in age there. So Buscemi's quite a bit younger than Hannibal would be.
He is. He also has worse dental work, so...
Which could work in his favour.
I guess.
If he gets a bite in, then that's it. Then Hannibal's going to die slowly of an infection of some sort.
Like
this is a 6-month fight, is it?
Well, no, it's a fight, and he thinks he's won, but then 6 months later he dies. What was that about?
See, that long-term strategy, it always wins out in the end.
Eventually, absolutely.
So you're saying Steve Buscemi would be like a Komodo dragon, then?
A kimono dragon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or a Gila monster.
A what?
Gila monster.
You just made that up.
What's a Gila monster?
It's basically a smaller version of a Komodo dragon, and their mouths are full of bacteria and viruses and all sorts of shit, and they bite you, and they're considered venomous, but they're not venomous. They don't carry venom, but when they bite you, the wound becomes infected almost immediately.
Because they don't clean
That's how they kill their prey.
So why are they called a healer? Because that's not particularly very healing, is it?
No, it's actually spelled Gila, but it's pronounced Gila monster.
See, that's
Why? I don't know.
Again, isn't it? That English language gets me every time.
It's probably Latin though, not English, Lance.
Thanks. I'll get my coat again.
Okay, so
anyway,
as part of the preparations for next week, then we're going to need I think three couples like that works pretty well. So part of the preparation next week, we'll have to come up with 3 more couples to fight from, or hopefully somebody listening can actually give us an idea as to who they would like to see fight and who they think would win.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Right, and that leads us into the last little piece of music.
Friday night, you're driving home. It's so hard to find your phone. You tell me I've been on your mind. You say that I'd be good for you, and then recant and say we're through. I wish you'd just make up your mind. One day in and one day out, it's just one thing I'm sure about. I'm tired of playing all these games. I don't wanna be alone. Nearly come undone. Don't wanna be alone anymore. Been so long here by myself, and all I want is someone else to tell me everything's alright. I'm not blind, but I can't see what the hell is wrong with me. Putting up a losing fight. One day on and one day off, but I won't ever be enough. This is all we'll ever be. I don't wanna be alone. I've nearly come undone. Don't wanna be alone anymore. I don't wanna be alone. Barely hanging on. Don't wanna be alone anymore. Can't spend my life here waiting while you're deliberating. If you want me, take me now or set me free. Don't wanna be alone. I'm barely hanging on. Don't wanna be alone anymore. Don't wanna be alone. I've almost come undone. Don't wanna be alone anymore. Don't wanna be alone
That was Amy Courts and Alone. And from the chatter that's going on between us on the Skype, I think that Doug thinks that was a little bit too girly.
Yes, Doug does.
Sorry.
I quite liked it, but I'm not sure that really it sort of went with the show. But the links to the music from both the Amy Courts and the piece we played earlier, Matthew Ebel, can be found in the show notes. And again, if you want to get in contact with us, our email address is ddl.podshow@googlemail.com.
The website is ddl.podshow.com.
And the telephone number is 0207 1932 982.
Right, and that about wraps it up for another week. Thank you very much for listening. And after I've edited this together, since Lance fell asleep in the middle, I'm going to have to do a bit of work on that. Hopefully we'll have a show again for you next week. Thank you very much for listening.
Bye-bye.
The best and the brightest, served up daily by the sharpest minds in content delivery, Podshow and Limelight.